across it from a data and part of this whole still know your citizen, understand your citizen as well, or a patient if it's healthcare as well, or a student. It's also from that lens of, how do I do my crisis communications and how do I communicate effectively right now? So, part of that, what we started to see were spikes in domestic violence. So how do I bring in that information from the voice analytics as a data source? And if it started to increase, what needs to be done? Is there things I can do to then create awareness through other marketing channels to say, here's where you need to go for support, here's homes that you can go to, or, this is how you can best find a shelter if you needed a shelter as well. The other areas too are really around when you think about some of the government funding that launched during this time too. So if it's being able to get unemployment, and a lot of citizens were getting their rebate checks as well. And so, how are they effectively using those? And really to understand, were these people affected by the current situation through a furlough or a downsizing, so we understand, or the government entities, state governments as well, or federal, understand how those fundings or outlay of benefits were actually utilized in the proper way. The other thing around the voice analytics, I think overall too, it's if you think about it across all different types of organizations too, especially in government. We just recently became FedRAMP as well. So we're FedRAMP compliant, which is the level of certification you need to actually be a viable vendor and solution in the public sector as well. So with that, we really see a good means to go into the state and local government as well as federal to go and utilize. If you think about all the different spikes in communications and live conversations, the volume of that during COVID, after where we're going even now with the elections, what type of voice conversations or analytics are coming through those channels. This is important right now because the volume of voice interaction has gone up now during COVID and as we're coming out of it, because there's so many other things happening now as we go into restart. What businesses are open? When do I go back to work? Is it safe to go into my building? But also from that whole citizen perspective, there's these different phases of approaches for each country and each state and region of how they're opening up their economy. So what does that mean as a citizen, what I can or cannot do? So being able to pull that information from the voice analytics, find out what the most compelling questions typically are, and might be shorter ones, because then I can go into customer insights, create a segment based on that, and then actually do proactive outreach to say, okay, here, if you have questions about this, here's the link where you can get that answered, or here's the form you can download to access that. But I can do some more outbound campaigns and communications to stay relevant based on what we're seeing as more frequent call volume questions that come in, but do it from a segmentation and marketing perspective for outreach campaigns.